Hi, I'm Dongshan. Welcome to Digging to China, where we explore China in depth to review unique perspectives. The yearly two sessions just wrapped up. These are supposed to be China's most important meetings. So, what stood out this time? What economic plans did Xi Jinping hint at? And what does he see as the key to saving China's economy? In this episode, we are going to unpack the two sessions and take a look at where China's economic policies might be headed next. Now, we all know the Chinese Communist Party's meetings, like the two sessions, are pretty much a big show.
咱们的习主席真的太伟大了，咱们习主席真的太伟大了，是不是啊？是不是？
They are more about appearances than real actions, but that doesn't mean there is nothing worth watching. In democratic countries, politicians just say what's on their mind, like Trump, who might jump on social media and blurt out, "Today I'm annexing Canada as the 51st state. Tomorrow I'm taking on the EU and the Ukraine." Whatever he's thinking, he lets it fly. China's different. The CCP runs things behind the closed doors, a secretive black box system. A bunch of top officials sit in a room deciding the country's future, and we are left guessing what they are talking about or even who's there. For regular Chinese folks, this secrecy makes it hard to figure out what the party's up to. That's why the two sessions, even if they are staged, are one of the few chances people get to peek into China's politics and guess what the big shots are thinking. It's like cracking a code. You have to dig into every word to get the picture. Today, I'll do that digging for you. So, what should we focus on with the two sessions? Mostly politics and economics. This year, the political side was kind of snooze, not much to chew on. Nothing dramatic like when Hu Jintao got escorted out a while back. But the economic side, that's where things got interesting, and that's what we are diving into today. Let's start with some numbers from the two sessions. The CCP spotlighted four big ones that changed this year and caught my eye. GDP growth, the fiscal deficit, the debt limits for both local government and the national level. They set the 2025 GDP growth target at 5%, same as before, while the fiscal deficit and the debt ceilings hit all-time high. If that sounds like a jargon, don't worry, I'll break it down. What's the 5% GDP goal mean? It shows Xi Jinping still pretty sure of himself and the direction he's taking China's economy. Last year, they just barely hit 5%, and this year, with the US-China trade war and the tariffs looming, it's going to be tough. Most experts doubt China can pull off 5% in 2025, but Xi's sticking to it. That tells us he's got faith in China's economy. It fits with what Wall Street being saying, that Xi Jinping still buys into the idea of the East is rising, the West falling. She's confident overall, but if you check out what the local governments are saying, they are not so sure. Compared to their 2024 GDP targets, only Tianjin and Guizhou aimed higher this year. Most provinces dialed back. Still, local doubts don't matter much. She's the one in charge, and as long as he believes, that's what drives the ship. So how's a confident Xi planning to hit that 5% in such rough waters? How's he going to lift the economy? The answer's in those other numbers, the fiscal deficit and the debt limits. In simple terms, his plan is to spend big at home to get people buying more. The CCP is throwing cash at things like electric cars and home appliances, trying to fix weak spending and boost the economy. This isn't new. It started back in October, after admitting last September that the economy was in trouble. They kicked off a bunch of rescue plans, and pumping up consumption was one of them. Take January 2025, for example. The government started handing out the big subsidies for electronics. An iPhone 16 gets you 500 yuan off. Now China's got the cheapest electronics anywhere. iPhones here cost less than in any other country. No more hunting for deals overseas. Where is the money coming from? New special national bonds they've issued to cover it. Back when she rolled out these rescue ideas, it wasn't just about consumption. There was talk about boosting the stock market and propping up real estate too. But the consumption push stuck, and at this year's 2 sessions, it took center stage. It's now Xi's main focus for the economy and what he sees as a lifeline to save it. At the 2 sessions, they loosened up financial rules a lot, like raising the caps on the fiscal deficit, local debt, and those special bonds. Some of that cash is patching up local government budgets, but a lot of it is going straight to subsidizing stuff people buy, sticking to Xi's consumption-boosting game plan. Look at the special bonds, for instance. Last year, they issued 1 trillion yuan. This year, they added 300 billion more. Out of that, 200 billion is mostly for upgrading equipment and appliances trade-ins. There is even a chart showing where all the subsidies are going. Bottom line, cars and appliances will stay super cheap this year. If you've got the cash, it's a good time to buy. One of the few chances to get something out of the CCP. All this means the government spending 2 trillion yuan more in 2025 than in 2024. So after unpacking these numbers, what's Xi signaling about the economy at the 2 sessions? Overall, he's optimistic about 2025, thinking 5% GDP growth is doable, even if local leaders aren't so sure. His fix for the economy is woos, keep pouring out government money to prop up spending and tackle overproduction. However, I'm not shocked she's so confident about hitting 5% GDP goal. Since those stimulus moves started last September, the economy's perked up a bit. There is a proof in small wins like the buzz around the DeepSeek or the blockbuster Naja 2 smashing box office records. These gave the economy a jolt and made it feel like things were turning around. Bigger picture data backs it up too. Since October, some numbers have looked better, like the manufacturing PMI, which tracks factory activity. It's been above 50 since then, meaning businesses are ramping up. The Shanghai Stock Index is up 25% from 6 months ago too. That's probably why Xi is feeling good enough to announce a 5% goal at the 2 sessions. But it might also be giving him the wrong idea that his earlier plans were perfect and pulled China through the storm. Is that true though? I don't think Xi's confidence will last long. This little economic bounce from his tweaks is likely about to fade. Why? His fixes only patch things up, they don't solve the real problems. China's economy has been shaky for a while, and experts have pointed out why. She's been pushing a state-run innovation model that's led to too much production and falling prices. For years, the government dumped cash into industries she likes, like electric cars or solar power. That's caused a mess. These companies get hyped up by the CCP, but they are also dragging the economy down. Take solar panels. The CCP loves to brag about them, but they are losing money hand over fist. In 2024, almost no listed solar company in China made a profit, just big losses. Prices crashed across the board. Why? Too much supply. The world needed 500 gigawatts of solar panels, but China churned out 1,000 gigawatts. Of course, they are losing money. How did this happen? It's China's system. Companies didn't jump into solar because people wanted. Xi decided from the top, saying, I want renewables, I want solar. Local governments ran with it, tossing subsidies at the solar firms to impress him. Reports say after Xi gave the order, places like Jiangsu, Anhui, and Qinghai province tripped over themselves to attract solar companies. Some offered 35% cash back, invest 100 yuan, get 35 back, plus cheap loans, free land, even government stakes. For a while, you could build a solar plant in China for next to nothing. No wonder there's too much supply. Electric cars have the same issue. Tons of random EV companies popped up in recent years, all thanks to subsidies. Some that didn't want in got bullied. Look at the Reading Auto in Shandong. They used to make old man's joy, these low-speed cars for rural areas. No license needed. Popular with old folks, nicknamed old man's joy. But after she pushed the renewables, local officials told the reading they had to switch to EVs to match his grand vision or face punishment, even jail for the boss. That's how you end up with too much stuff to no one's buying. When supply and demand get decided by one guy in Beijing instead of the market, things go off the rail. And when that happens, the economy suffers. Scholars flagged this back in 2023, and when Janet Yellen visited, she kept saying it too. The CCP just dug in, denying any overproduction. Online cheerleaders shouted there was no problem. But denial doesn't fix reality. As the economy tanked in 2023 and 2024, efforts flopped. The CCP had to face it. They started admitting overcapacity and looking for fixes. Yellen's solution: drop the state-led model, let the market sort out the production, cut spending, and give money back to people. Basically, she should stop playing king, take less from folks, and let the market figure out what's needed. It knows better. She won't fully ditch his system though. It's his pride and the CCP's control. But he can't sit still either. Or the economy's done. So he's compromising, shifting from propping up a production to boosting demand. That's his new lifeline. Think of EVs again. Old way, she says, go renewables, and the local government shower cash on manufacturers, build factories, take free land. New way, she still wants EVs, but now he's paying consumers to buy them, not factories to make them. It's a smarter for balance. Overcapacity sticks around, but it cuts some dead weight and eases the glut. A tweak to China's model, borrowing a bit from Yellen. China's economy looking up lately. It's not some grand rise or Xi's genius. It's the CCP finally easing off its stubbornness and leaning towards Western market ideas. Still, I don't think this demand-side lifeline will fully save China. Without a total overhaul, overproduction and weak demand will keep dragging prices down. It's just a bandage, not a cure. Signs are already there. Deflation's creeping back. The CPI, which tracked consumer prices, hit negative 0.7% in February, the lowest in 13 months, down 0.2% from January. Imports, another demand clue, dropped 8.5% in the first 2 months, a multi-year low. Xi's big stimulus might not even kick in fully for 2025 before it's already losing steam. Soon, we could be back to the pain of early 2024, and for some, this brief uptick might have gone unnoticed anyway. Thank you so much for watching. If you find this video helpful, please like it, drop a comment below, and hit the subscribe button right here. It really helps YouTube suggest my video to others. I'll be back with more content soon. Until then, be well.